Welcome to episode of 166 of Fourth and John. I am Gail Saunders here with Evan, Hollywood Hearn, and Prime in the building. This is the post-game pod for Fourth and John, which is the most interactive podcast that we have. So for the people out there listening on the podcast later, you'll be listening to people just coming off the streets talking about their birds. Obviously, birds didn't get it done. But they definitely fought. It's fight, Eagles fight. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what you want to see from your Eagles weekly. The last two games, they've showed some fight. Interesting enough, we have a rookie quarterback leading the offense. I can't be mad at his performance. Jalen Hurts has definitely showed out for this Eagles team. The one word that I could stick by when I talk about Jalen Hurts is, he's got confidence. He is definitely a guy who's unrattled out there in situations where you think, he's going up against another, Oklahoma quarterback, a number one overall quarterback selected in the league, went toe-to-toe with Kyler Murray, 27 for 36, 435 total yards, four total touchdowns. Hurts, 24 for 44, 401 total yards, four total TDs as well. So in that respect, you got to give a hat tip to Hurts, but you also have to give a hat tip to all the other guys who are role players, whether it be in the secondary, guys that just were stepping up against a pretty tough matchup from their wide receivers. But at the end of the day, I got to see what I wanted to see, and I got to see some fight. Evan, Hollywood Hearn.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it real. I thought that was one of the most entertaining Eagles games that I've watched all season. I mean, compared to the dreck that we've been putting up with week in and week out, that was a fun game. And when the game first started, I'm not going to lie, I think a lot of us had that feeling it was going to be a long one. Seemed like it smelled a little bit like a blowout, but the way that Jalen Hurts was able to turn this team around and just the spark that he provides and how quickly this offense can get it going, I was very impressed today, guys. I was very impressed. And you just pulled up his stats, comparing him to Kyler Murray. Gail, I was telling you before the game, this post game started, I was going through Carson Wentz's stats. I was going through Jalen Hurts' stats. I was kind of very impressed by the fact that Jalen Hurts accumulates over 400 yards today. Carson Wentz hasn't done that in his entire career, man. He hasn't both pass and thrown. You add those two together, hasn't accumulated 400 yards in a game in his career. And in his second career start, Jalen Hurts puts on a show for us. Didn't get the job done, but this is exactly what we were kind of expecting going into this game. I said right in the pregame, I was expecting a high-scoring, close game. I predicted it at 33-31. I kind of got what I expected out of this game. I thought that the Cardinals would just have a little bit more firepower to put them over the top. DeAndre Hopkins, I knew was going to be a problem, but overall, the players that I wanted to see step up, not just Jalen Hurts, but Michael Jacquet. We have people, they're playing with the NQE right now, man. They're playing with the NQE. This team's feeling differently. And I'm just liking the direction of this team. I think everybody got a little bit of what they wanted, because a little bit of the fan base is wanting, to lose out so we can get that better draft position. Another section of the fan base just wants to see the progression of Jalen Hurts and see what we could do there. We got a taste of both tonight.
Go ahead.
It definitely was an exciting game. It was exciting to actually sit there, nail biting, like, oh shit, is this pass going to get off? We're going to get this run, we're going to get this first down. It's just the excitement of being involved in the game was definitely a great feeling to have today. The kid balled out. Yeah, he brought it. The defense. I said in the pregame, it was all about the hunger. I saw the hunger there. Especially from some of these nobodies that we're just getting introduced to today. They stepped up, they played their game, and just seeing that defense, just making it an entertaining game on both sides of the ball was the fun part. It's just like, oh shit, we didn't have to worry about getting through the defense and then seeing some entertainment from the offense or vice versa. No, it was both ways. and that's what the exciting part about today's game. I gotta agree. You know, it started off a little edgy, started off like it was going to be a blowout, but they kept their heads in the game and they brought it back, and you know they made it more interesting than what we expected.
I think
Shout out to the defense, man.
Yeah.
Some turnovers today, man.
You
That
got
kid,
to.
that kid Jacquet played his ass off, man. I mean, defending DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, hey, he was on the ball at the right time, but I mean, we're talking about Hopkins, man. This guy's got a grip on that ball, and it's just
he's a different level.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the end of the day, like you know, you always want to get production from all sides of the football, and you know, obviously we're talking about offense sometimes, talking about defense, and special teams is usually, you know, for the most part, you know, we've had some issues there. Like again today, it was just like more, you know, special teams play that kind of bit us in the butt. I mean, you look at a play where gutsy call too, man. I mean, gutsy call here. I mean, it's you know, you complete this play on us. You know, it had to, because you look at the aggressiveness of Doug and him going for it on 4th and downs here and there. You're just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, I'm so excited to see what he's gonna do, but I'm like, what are you doing? You can, but then you look at the situation. You know, we have an extra point. You know, Ertz has to come in and hold the snap, and Charlie Browned it, and you know,
it was a bad snap.
It was a bad snap on Lovato's end too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know Ertz was mad pissed, but again, you're just like, come on, man, can anything just go right for us? I mean, we're just it's tied up. We're about to like take the lead, and you know, these kind of things happen. That's so like Eagles. I mean, we got a safety today, out of all things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we got to see a lot from this team. I think you talk about Jalen Hurts' ability to be unwavering, and I mean, you threw a back shoulder on Lattimore last week, and you're attacking one of the best cornerbacks in Patrick Peterson. I mean, he's a crafty veteran. He wasn't backing down, and he kept, you know, targeting Patrick Peterson. I'm like, look, young bull, go the other way. But I was like, go ahead. All right, okay. You're not scared. These are the little things that I like to see. Yeah,
those things. And then, like, can we talk about the 4th and 6 for a second? That 4th and 6 scramble where, like, he had to. It was at the end of the game. He had to get that first down. And for him, just the awareness he had around him, I was so impressed today by his playmaking ability. I'm just completely taken aback, man. This game had everything.
Yeah,
I agree, Paul.
Yeah, Paul from London says this game had everything. We had good offense and defense. We had defense and offense, bad defense and offense. We definitely need new cornerbacks. Cost him 1 sack, which he was standing still for more than 3 seconds. So the last second, you realize it needs to run, which I'm not going to be mad at. And he's a rookie, but overall, he had a good game. Shout out Jordan as well. Calling it Hurtsville.
I think that, like, that's one thing that we could definitely look at. He definitely had some rookie mistakes in there. Going back, that safety, that's a boneheaded mistake, and that's on him. But you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. The kid's a rookie; they make mistakes, and overall, I think he played well.
Yeah, it was scary to see with the way the game was going with the play calling. It's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Here we go again. But you know, whatever adjustments Doug decided to go ahead and make, I'm glad he made to make this game more interesting than what we, you know, thought we were going to be in for. You know, the trick play started coming out, but I mean, you know, hats off to the kid, because, like, you know, he stood in there, he saw the field a whole lot better. Well, you know, he saw it real good. You know, I mean, he was hitting those receivers. Alshon Jeffrey, man, it's like, yo,
he's got life all of a sudden again.
I don't get it, man. I'm looking at him. I'm like, where has this been, man? Like, he's flying off the line. As soon as the ball is hiked, he's flying. Like, I haven't seen that in the past year and a half, and it's like, where did it come from, man? It's like, but hey, it made today very entertaining.
Quarterback energy, my guy.
I see that, man. I see
Yeah,
that.
and if
I
you
was trying to
remember, I
stay off
mean,
that subject, but you know what I mean.
well, it's hard to ignore that
It
how
is.
Alshon was kind of at the core of when all those stories came out. I mean, you remember the Josina Anderson report, so just that NQE, he's got a completely different energy about him right now.
I
You're
see
not
that.
wrong.
Now, Emily says you can't teach competitiveness. Jalen played a hell of a game today, and that's one thing the kid
100%.
keeps fighting and competing. You talk about situations where you think, a play is over, and you get plays like this. I mean, you're just talking about like, fumbles the ball, picks it up.
Oh man,
I mean, again, like these are just, they're,
so many plays that made me jump out of my seat today, dude.
I mean, what about this play that made us? It made to watch me and my brother and my dad, who's an elderly man, and like the life that he had today, the life that he had today after he saw this play, he got up out of his chair. And he's like, my dad is screaming, but again, you're just like, he's fighting for the extra yards. He gets a touchdown. Kind of just brings that.
Being shifty.
Talk about that. Emily's talking about that competitiveness, and you see it. It's just a hat tip. Shaquan, he says, what percentage do you think Eagles can still punch the ticket?
It's very slim at this point. I mean, you really needed to secure that game in order to have a real shot at it. I mean, it's not like mathematically we're not out of it, but we're way more in the field now where we gotta rely on other teams to lose out. I don't see it happening. I would say if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd put it around 10-15%.
10-15%. Yeah, it'll be tough. I got what I needed to see today. Even if we didn't get the dub, I'm like, draft guy. Me is like, everything's good here, guys. Paul says the only downer from him was Doug abandoned the run yet again. This is true. Miles Sanders he just stops. He just kind of like forgets about Miles. It is what it is.
I don't get that, and that's something that I was talking to my friend Brian with about because he had mentioned me. He texted me during the game, and hey, what's up, Sean? It's my cousin. He was that's my cousin Sean. He was telling me to shave my beard earlier in the comments, but I was texting with my friend. He's asking me how much does this game change your opinion about Doug Peterson? And I mean, does it change much for you guys? I really, my opinion on Doug Peterson from that game is still unchanged. I'm impressed, yes, by Jalen Hurts, but by Doug Peterson, there's still a lot of bonehead things that are going on there.
Yeah, you question why do you get away from the run game? I mean, dude, I could see if we didn't have an elite running back, but we do. We have one of the top running backs in the league. Like, use them, utilize them. Like, what is going on? I'm thrown off. So yeah, I agree with you, Ev. Like my feelings about the coaching that he's doing is not changing just based off of this game. I mean, if anything, Jalen helped him. He didn't help himself. So I don't get it, man. I just don't know why he's getting away from the running game.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves now. But I mean, Alshon Jeffrey, that's a thing that I can't wrap my head around. It really is the like Alshon seems to step his game up just when Jalen Hurts is on the field. Alshon was nowhere to even be on the field when Carson was out there, and then all of a sudden he decides he wants to play again, and he's actually out there playing. Now, are you guys still like with Alshon performing the way that he is? Are you guys still upset about like the whole Fulgham and him splitting snaps with him?
Damn right.
Or are you starting?
I mean, like, Alshon is not going to be our future. Fulgham is. I want to see more of the kid. I want to see what the kid brings. You know what I mean? Like, it's frustrating, man, because right here we're sitting and we're like, we gotta think about what the future is going to look like. You know what I mean? We're going to be losing a lot of players come next year, and then with all the controversy that started this morning, who's to say what other players we're going to be losing out on? I mean, you're sitting there and you're watching Ertz, Kelsey, and all these guys, and you're like, damn, it's not going to be like this next year. You're not going to see these faces next year. So yeah, I'd rather see what the kid has. Like, The kid has moves. We've seen what he's about. A couple games in the season. Why he got away from that, I have no idea.
I saw this one comment here from Yo Rod 215 says, "Does this pick of Hurts make Howie a genius or something?" He said, "Just kidding." I mean, again, it just adds more fuel to the fire in the more drama that we've had this week with prior to the game starting. You have these comments coming out. You got an article right here with Adam Schefter. Carson Wentz is not interested in being a backup quarterback and would want to move on from the Eagles if the current situation with Jalen Hurts starting under center continues in Philadelphia. Sources connected to the team told ESPN. That just makes for to start your day off like this, and this kind of news coming out. A lot of people had different takes on it. I saw Jimmy Kempski's take on it. He was very adamant about his take on the situation, and it said that it was kind of like it Wentz's camp that this probably came out of. And he said that it was kind of like a selfish take for this kind of stuff to get out before the game, and then kind of mentioned the S word as in soft. But again, it definitely started the day off. I know pregame Prime was feeling a certain way. I know that's the first thing me and Prime talked about this morning. It was like the first thing we were just talking about. Did you just see this? But definitely interesting. Definitely interesting.
For sure. Got our man Timmy in the waiting room.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
You brought an energy pregame that was unmatched per usual. It seems like you have a certain swagger after the game. Did you? First of all, did you enjoy yourself? And what are your takes from this game?
I mean, I'll say that I definitely did enjoy myself. I definitely will agree with you guys. I'm still just completely cautious about Doug. I just don't understand. He's like, the kid that bangs his head on the wall and you just don't understand. Are you in pain? Are you feeling it? I just don't understand. That last drive there in the fourth quarter where you're deciding to keep Jalen in the pocket and run the identical play back to back.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what is your thought here? What are you trying to do? I mean, usually when you're a play caller and when you're an offensive coordinator, when you're a head coach that calls plays, usually you're setting something up. You're trying to call plays to where you're trying to get a defense mismatched or off their game or out of position. That's the whole reason why you do what you do. And with Doug, there's parts in a game where I just don't think that he is looking at the screen or looking at his little flappy plastic, and he's like, "Hey, I'm doing this because of this." I don't see that. I see, okay, yeah, let's run that one, and nothing after the fact. I mean, I just don't understand. Clock management was a huge thing. We wasted time. These are things that you as a head coach should be telling your rookie quarterback starting, "Hey, let's speed it up. Let's get the tempo going." And I didn't see that at all. Once again, coaching stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, overall, I know Prime is sitting over there on a hot seat because he did not like the way that Jalen came out right now. And I know, as you said earlier, when was the last time that Carson had 4 touchdowns in a game?
1, 2, 3. That was 0 times in his career. Zero times. I went back and double checked because I didn't want to come out here and be saying false stats. I went through that 2 times. He's never had 400 yards in a game.
And you guys know me. I'm huge on the Carson bandwagon. I was all about it from the day that he got here, and what I saw in 2020 season is leading me to the point to where I don't know if he can continue to do this. Now I am on the team and I'm on the camp of he has to actually prove it and win it. There has to be a competition next year. I don't see how you can go through an offseason and not give them a competition when it comes to training camp, mini camps, and everything else. But let's not be shaken here. we need some help across the board. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw a team to get again tonight, like Jeffrey was saying earlier, that came out with no energy, no passion, no nothing in that first. Well, I mean, I'll say the first half. Really, I mean, we didn't
Right.
really get anything going until the second quarter. So, I mean,
That still falls on coaching for me.
Yeah,
exactly.
We had a. When's the last time we had a blocked punt? I mean, come on. I mean, like, yeah, granted, the rook made a mistake there with the safety. I get it. He's trying to just, get rid of the ball and not really understanding where he's at on the field. I understand it's going to happen. But at the same time, I mean, we got to set up some plays to get him out of the pocket, use his feet. We didn't start using his feet until the second quarter. Like,
and while we're on the topic of punts too, like, can we please, for the love of God, put Rager back there and stop with the Greg Ward on the punt returns? Like, I don't get it. Jalen Rager is way better in that position than Greg Ward. Every single punt return is the same exact thing for us. It's just Greg Ward either lets the ball go. He's been doing that all year long. Yeah, exactly. And then they're able to down it, or he's going for the fair catch. There's no. Jalen Rager at least is going to try and get downfield, and he's got the shiftiness and speed to be able to do it. Yeah. Why do we keep trying the same thing? I agree with you.
It was interesting to see that at least Rager was getting targets. Again against Patrick Peterson, a crafty vet. They did draw some PIs, which was interesting. But Jalen Rager, he did he made some couple plays here and there. Quez Watkins showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely.
Yeah. He must have slept good last night.
Yeah. Or he got some boom boom earlier this morning or something. He had the light feet. Because that little juke that he made in the backfield there when we got that block on that screen, that first touchdown, I was like, who is that? I had to get up out my seat and go closer to the TV. I was like, wait a minute, am I seeing something different? I don't know who this is. So yeah.
But that's also like what
surprise, motherfucker.
That's totally one of the benefits, though, of when you have a backup quarterback out there, because they have that sort of rapport with the guys on the back end of the depth chart in the wide receiver room. So, like, while that was an end around, I think that we're seeing Quez Watkins introduced more into these games just because he probably has a rapport built with them at this point. Jimothy.
Hey-o.
Hey, doing?
I'm doing all right, man. This is probably one of the times in a loss where I'm not pissed. I saw a lot of great things. Was really excited. A lot of the things that we talked about before the game, we got to see. And Jalen Hurts, we talked about everybody doubting him and they're gonna figure him out. Well, he would probably throw the ball more. Holy hell, throwing the ball, dude! 4 touchdowns. I heard you guys talking, loving all of it. So I was excited as hell, man. I could still love Carson Wentz and still root for Jalen Hurts. We talked about this a million times. I want to see this team succeed. I still think it's a competition next year. So this is just making this competition light it up. Jalen Hurts looks like he could definitely win it, though. Oh, my God. That kid.
It definitely is a competition thing. Like, I mean, that's what I'm okay with. Like, that's
you're okay with it. Carson's not.
But
exactly.
But again, knowing that, hey, it might not happen because Carson wants out of Philly. I'm reading some of these comments. Did he make a comment like
Well, some people are saying that he didn't say it, and Rob Monty also said that shot down that he didn't say that. But who?
Yes. So that happened in postgame. They actually asked Doug in his postgame just a little bit ago if he had heard the comment that Carson had wanted out of Philly. And he was like, no, I haven't heard anything from that. He's like, Carson's been a complete supporter of Jalen and the moves that we've made. And then the next reporter that came in was basically like, yeah, I debunked that earlier. It didn't come from Carson nor his camp. Yeah, so
again, see, that's
Prime's point. Yeah.
Like, guys, not for nothing. I mean, we're going back years where I've seen players that didn't want to be here. I've seen them on the sideline actually being separate from the rest of the team. I was in the stands, and I'll never forget, Jason Balvin didn't want to be here anymore. And that dude was literally standing in on the sideline all the way at the end zone while the rest of the team was up by the 10-yard line on the opposite side of the field. I've seen it. I see attitude. That dude, he don't got no attitude. He don't got a problem. He's not going to be the one that's going to go out there on the field and congratulate the team after scoring a touchdown. He's not going to be one of the first ones. So I can't see him being that guy, being disgruntled as people are saying he is.
Well,
All right.
people,
So
he has to.
that's the upsetting part right there.
But you have to realize that he is on camera. Like he knows that 100 cameras are on him.
There's a lot of guys that
No,
are.
I'm just like, but that is a fact. Everyone's sitting there watching. Like after a touchdown, the camera pans to like Wentz. He has to keep this. He has to keep
his composure for sure.
I mean, he's also a captain. Like,
especially if he wants to get traded. I mean, he wants to show that he is that leader. So, I mean, I will say this though. I will give Jalen credit. The touch pass or the touch that he has on the ball with those little dinks and the screen passes, the ability to adjust and still make that pass that he had on the second screen that we had today. That was huge. It was something that I did not see from Carson earlier in the season. It was something that you're either getting a ball to the feet, you're getting it over the guy, or the guy's out of position once he catches it. Jalen was hitting guys with that dink dunk, Miles twice, and then obviously like we just talked about, Quez with that catch with the touch ball to be able to turn up field and go do something with it. I wasn't seeing that with Carson. Like I said, once again, I completely agree with you guys. This is going to be a competition. I'm excited for it because I can't wait to see what this offseason, let's get out of COVID and let's get some pads on in July and see what happens. It's going to be.
You say you're excited for it now. Wait till next season when this actually starts. It's going to be a civil war in Philadelphia.
It's going to be nice.
I'm not picking any sides here. The reality of like bringing those kind of alpha males into a competition, granted, I'd love whatever it made one of the other quarterbacks better. That's great, man. That's great. But I mean, that's a perfect like Disney movie where they fight and battle out in the, becomes a great story. But I don't think the way that things are going here, they can both coexist because Carson went into this season like this is my team. And now he's going into like
now he's watching some other guy hooking up with his girl right in front.
Hey Miles, how you doing, guy?
Which means he better step his game up.
He's like looking at his players like.
Yeah.
That's why I'm with the whole competition thing. Like it's going to bring the best out of both of them when it's the off season. So I'm with it. I'm definitely with it.
Yeah, Kyle O'Brien had a comment on the broadcast itself today. What was your guys' thought on Aqib Talib in the booth today?
He was not right.
That was.
Hey, first of all, I told y'all I was innocent. For those of y'all thought I was guilty, y'all know what y'all can do. Hey, mama, I love you. I'm okay. Pot, I love you too, babe. I'm gonna be home later on. We gonna party.
Yeah,
I'm sitting down here watching this game, and I'm like listening to this dude talking. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, do I have this shit on the wrong channel? I go upstairs, I put it on another channel. It's that same goddamn guy, man. What the?
I put that tweet out there, a meme right there, and that joint has like 135,000 views right now. And people are very, very opinionated about. I said that he sounds like Chris Tucker, and then we got people like making it a race thing.
You can't say nothing today, man.
Racist scale.
Someone's like, "You're a race baiter," like Missing Ellie. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? It's like, he sounds like Chris Tucker.
You can't
I didn't think that.
He's like, and this man. If you listen to actually what he was saying, he had some good points in there from after being a cornerback who likes to snatch chains. He's one of the grimiest cornerbacks out there, snatching people's chains like that.
Probably snatched
He was a great in the day, man. For
sure. It added some fun element to the game. It got people in the comments here talking about his comments and hey, look,
it was brutal. Even some of the players started commenting like, he's broadcasting today. Where did that happen?
Yeah. Shout out to Jonathan in the chat. He said no interceptions today. What do you think about that?
I mean, that was something that we talked about. We talked about how last game that he was careful with the football, and we're seeing more of that today. I mean, Carson Wentz, the number one knock that everybody's had all year is he's turning the ball over way too much. Jalen Hurts is doing his part by just protecting the football. And it was very surprising to see how loose with the ball Kyler Murray was today. We talked about those two going up against each other. Give some credit to Jalen Hurts going up against the number 1 pick overall. I think that they both played very well, pretty evenly matched.
Especially with Matt Pryor over at right tackle. We
Exactly.
talked about our concern there, and you saw that, 6 sacks or whatever it was. I think that, you saw that there are some pieces that definitely need to be fixed throughout the offseason. But if a guy like Jalen Hurts can come in and bring a spark and turn a team that looked like complete garbage around and have us, like I literally had to eat before I came on here because I forgot to eat throughout the whole day. But I was so worked up. I was about to pass out. I'm like seeing stars. I was like, holy shit. I literally was getting so excited, and that's what we've been asking for the last couple of weeks. Just bring some damn energy, get me excited, because at the end of the day, that's all I want to see. And we lost, yes, but I said as long as I got to see a damn good game, some young guys playing well, and that's exactly what I saw. So I'm a happy man tonight, even with the loss.
And I just want to throw it out there too. Many weeks ago, way prior to the trade deadline, we were talking about guys that potentially could be on the move. I brought up a guy by the name of Hassan Reddick. I just want to throw it out there that anybody that said that he was a bad player, I just want to call you out for it because he's pretty fucking good player.
Just with the Temple and everything. Don't be trying to.
I'm just saying. That's what I was saying. I was having the Temple connection with Hassan Reddick. I was like, yo, I really like this fucking player.
Timmy's a Temple guy as well.
I am, and I got there the year after he had already gotten drafted. So yeah, I mean the halls were lit with Reddick all throughout after the year after he got drafted.
Reddick is CMD dude too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like represent Camden all day.
All right.
Yeah.
Will Mallon on Facebook says, "I know it's early, but Hurts is Russell Wilson-esque. If he had some major pieces at wide receiver and the run that Miles brings, he could be a star. I love Wentz, but if Hurts finishes on the field this season, it's going to be tough to get his job back."
Yeah, and that's something I've kind of been touching on. Is that like Carson, as of right now, it's a total gray area, but this was his team. And now he is in a position where like he has dug a hole for himself. So while Carson, like, even though Jalen Hurts filled in at the end of that Packers game, it was still Carson's team at that point. But this hole just keeps getting dug deeper and deeper. And Jalen Hurts playing well isn't helping Carson's stock at all. And what's really not helping his stock, whether it's true or not, just the smoke that was around this report that came out earlier today, like, I get it if they're saying that isn't what happened, but like a lot of the fan base isn't going to get the update on that got debunked. So there's a mentality out there. Exactly. And it's just souring the taste about Carson Wentz in people's mouths out there.
By the way, I just put a invite to the show if you'd like to come on, such as like Timmy did. If you want to come on and give us your take on how you're feeling about the game and what you saw from the performances today, jump on the show and we'll bring you on and let you speak your piece. But obviously, what player besides Jalen Hurts stuck out to you guys today that you were like, this guy needs to be recognized?
Jimmy's boy, Michael Jacquet. Yeah, dude, he showed up huge today, and for like we were coming into this game and we were petrified at what we were going to have in our defensive backs versus these wide receivers. We have an all-time, that like no doubt about it, Hall of Fame wide receiver on that team, paired with one of the greatest wide receivers in the game today. So they had their hands full. But I think Michael Jacquet made the best of what he could do out there. He took advantage of situations, getting that ball knocked free. I thought he played very well out there. He should be recognized for it.
Yeah, I'll even give you another one too in that secondary. I mean, Marcus Epps. I mean, coming in and playing that safety position, knowing that Rodney's out, not only having a week to get prepared and ready to go. I mean, that was a huge void to fill. He was back there calling people and changing positions, putting guys in the right positions. I was like, wait, who is this? I was like, what's going on? So, yeah, definitely shot him out too.
Mm-hmm.
It says we really missed Josh Sweat. We did. I mean, if we had him, that would have been a major factor. Mark also said Singleton.
That's what I was going to roll with.
Quez getting some love here tonight. Philly Vlone talking about changing the subject here. Can we talk about the fact that people think Hurts can't throw? I mean, it's just, people will just, after last week, they were thinking, he ran a lot. It was like what in the second half, he only had 4, like probably into the third quarter, he only had like 4 runs.
Mm-hmm.
But to put up 300 and on the day he put
38
up
yards, I believe. 338.
Yeah, 338.
338, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Come on now. It's a fact. I mean, he came out and balled out. Obviously,
102.3 passer rating.
Dude, we talked about it before the show. So Philly Vlone, we were talking about it. We talked about the fact that people kept saying we're going to figure him out and he's going to suck. Well, we said, what if he comes out swinging and slinging, baby? And he sure did. So I love it, man. He can throw, and he proved that tonight.
I mean, you talked about Timmy talked about the touch. I talked about him. He's throwing at Lattimore one week, and now he's throwing at
Patrick Peterson,
and not being shook about it. Not just once, not just twice, like 3 or 4 times. So I mean, again, you got to hat tip him like that whole there's a whole again like I'm I'm seeing a vibe that he's bringing to the team right now, and it's undeniable right now.
I think that Carson, we all label him as that gunslinger type of mentality, and that kind of speaks a lot to his arm strength as well, how he can just unload the ball. I don't think, I've said this time and time again, I don't think Jalen Hurts has the same sort of arm strength. But the way, Tim, to your point, his touch that he has on the ball, it totally makes up for his lack of arm strength, in my opinion. If he's able to just place that ball in there softly on those deep balls, I agree. I saw a comment in there that said his deep ball is gorgeous. I completely agree. He can just drop that ball in the breadbasket.
Even on the run, he's got touch.
Well, yeah, exactly. And you look at, I mean, granted, we got down. I forget where he launched it from, but the throw that he made to Dallas Goedert that Goedert dropped, that was literally the perfect place to put that ball. It was thrown short, right in the belly, so that way the only person who was going to get it was Dallas, and be able to use his body as a defense to block off the defender. So, I mean, you cannot ask for a better thrown ball. You just got to have the receiver make that catch, and that's a touchdown. We're sitting here with a whole different grin on our faces.
Imagine if he catches that, bro. Like, I mean, imagine, like, I mean, we thought he caught it. My family was.
I did too.
I did too. I was halfway.
I'm not gonna lie. On that last play, I thought Goddard had a chance to dive for that deflection. It might have been the angle, and it could have just been more bang bang than I anticipated. But I thought that he had an opportunity on that last play as well.
Now, Jeremy on Facebook says, "Why does it take so long for this organization to evaluate their talent?"
There's no one on the organization that can evaluate talent.
Yeah, that's why John Dorsey.
And then the other question is, why does it take an injury for some of these guys to actually be like? If you talk about some of the injuries that didn't happen, like a Nate Gary, if Nate Gary doesn't go down, do we get to see the blossoming of a Singleton? I mean, Singleton, again, he shows up, and again, we probably want more talent drafted in, but at the end of the day, he's showing up. That the nice angle on that run. I was actually looking at the timeline at the time. I saw Jimmy's tweet about Singleton's tackle on that one play. He had a nice angle to the edge, but definitely showed up on that blitz as well. But like, who else on this team do you think would not have been found if it was injured? Oh,
Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
Jordan Mailata, man.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, I am 100% right here. I'm guilty of saying that in the offseason, I said I am so sick of this Mailata experiment. Can we just move on from it? He's taking up a roster spot. Evan Hearn, I was dead wrong. I'm thankful that he's had an opportunity to show what he has, because I really think we have a future in a left tackle in Jordan Mailata.
In my 7th-round mock, I had the Eagles drafting Mailata. You all laughed at me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he only had one mistake that I saw tonight, and I mean, he's been huge. He's been huge. I mean, his power alone just puts him above the rest. And I mean, going forward, like you just said, Evan, going forward, it's going to be great to have him and actually have a full, off season, let him develop some more, and then be able to potentially use him as a swing tackle between Lane, who's still going to be here, and Dillard, who every people have forgotten about that we still have. I mean,
I know.
so once these two bookends get back here and we can solidify that side, have Mailata as a swing guy to replace one of the two of them, man, it's gonna be a tough offensive line next year.
And I mean, we're sitting here talking about in the show, we're talking about competition. We're talking about the QB competition between Carson and Jalen and how that is supposed to breed, like better play out of the two of them. I'm all for a competition at this point between Dillard and Mailata.
Yes. The whole team is a competition right now.
Yep.
The whole team is a competition right now.
Well, Nate Herbig, another one, dude, from injury. So same thing on that line. Nate Herbig and Mailata, I really like their future, and they're both going to be pushing people. I know Brandon Brooks will be back, Sayamalu, but if there's injuries, I think Herbig's here to stay.
You see Brandon Brooks' Instagram post the other day?
Yeah, man.
My man's out there moving.
We talked about it, dude. Could he sneak back but look, at this point we lost. People can be excited about the draft pick, whatever, but I'm excited about the future. We got to see a lot from these young guys we're mentioning, Singleton, and because of these injuries, it was a great question, whoever asked it. Why the hell are we talking about guys? You know damn well I talked about Michael Jacquet, talked about Avonte Maddox was going to struggle outside. And, how do we sit here in week 15 and now we're getting to see this kid because everybody's decimated and now he's out here? Oh, well, a kid that can play corner at 6'1". Like, give me a break, dude. So that's why John Dorsey's here. I'm sick and tired of it too, guys. I don't understand why they can't evaluate anything.
Travis Fulgham, man. We found a diamond in the rough, then threw him away.
There you go.
John with the hot take. He says Driscoll is greater than Dillard.
I like Driscoll too.
Yeah. I like Driscoll, but I don't think that I've seen enough tape on Driscoll to make that determination yet.
One's a left tackle, one's a right tackle. So I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think Dillard's footwork is probably a little bit better. He can plant in the ground and make moves. His we'll say 90-degree turn is a lot better. He sets his hips a lot faster. So it's a way better. Dillard is just better overall.
He's more
as a
polished.
Talent. Yeah, just the talent is there. With Driscoll, it's he's that hard worker. He's that guy. That's what he is. He's great now because we don't have a Dillard, and we're looking for somebody to be that hard worker and to step in each week in and week out, and do what they need to do. But I mean, Dillard's in the overall better talent.
Paul's out here being blasphemous right now, man.
Well, at this point, who is it?
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
I mean, we're tarnishing the man's legacy. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's bad. A turn stop in SEPTA Broad Street is better than.
Wow!
Come on, man!
Wow.
Come on!
We're gonna be driving down to Ohio when he gets inducted, right? Who's with me?
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
So we're gonna have to drop off Tim at the last exit.
Hey, he can put a yellow jacket on. A gold jacket on. I'm okay with that as long as it's not a green jersey. I'm okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Put the gold jacket on, just not the green shoulder pads. I can't have you anymore. I love you to death.
That's fair.
I just not no more. It's too much.
It's a wrap. That's it.
Mike Bell, I saw you in the green room. If you want to get back on the show, I saw you there. I was about to bring you on, but you disappeared. Maybe you have bad Wi-Fi. Other than that, what else do we have here?
Maybe he was pissed about Jason Peters.
I'm sorry. I hold no punches, man. I tell how it is.
Overall, I'm just kind of like surveying the chat right now, and like the vibes, even though we lost that game, the vibes seem to be pretty good right now. I mean, has anybody like particularly like really been out of shape over this game? I was pretty happy with what I saw, regardless of the outcome.
No,
yeah,
Prime is sleeping over there. Prime was about to fall asleep on it.
Yeah.
I had a long night, man. Stayed up watching that stupid ass fight last night.
I don't know how y'all have guys who have daddy duty. You gotta watch the games. You gotta get the kids to sleep. You gotta wipe do the diapers. You gotta go.
Shout out to you guys. I can hardly take care of myself. You guys taking care of other people.
Yeah. So Prime is a he's got a little one at home. He's grinding. Shout out to you.
I'm trying.
Yeah, man.
I will say this though. If we're looking for something to nitpick on, if we're looking for something to say that is the issue, I would definitely say it was Jim Schwartz's inability to continuously not make adjustments in the second half. Mm-hmm. And I say this because you got literally, in my opinion, I don't know how the rest of this room feels, but in my opinion, one of the top 3 wide receivers in the league.
Without a doubt.
you're going up against this guy, and he's not so much torching you. We're doing good in the man coverage, but you're not bringing any help when we need it.
Right.
And I just don't understand. It's once again he leaves our guys out on an island, no matter who they are, and just expects that this is going to be what we do going forward throughout the whole entire game.
Yo.
Especially when you're not seeing the front four like we talked about earlier. I know Jimmy mentioned it earlier. The front four was not getting the pressure that we needed in the crunch. They were tired. They were winded. We were down sweat. So you got to bring some kind of help to this guy who's over in the island. And I saw none of that in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and we paid for it.
I mean, I did see that one time they went empty and they brought Singleton, which was nice.
Yes.
The other thing, it's like, you hear Keith Khalid that, hey, man, they got a top 5, front man. But then they start talking about, we literally have a tire salesman in Seymour out there, like you said, on an island. We got Seymour Island, not Revis, but we have Seymour Island out there, and these guys are balling to the best of their abilities. It was kind of hard to come up with big plays, but again, like that's why sometimes you got to hat tip like these guys that are no-namers just come out of nowhere and give you some effort.
It was good to see some of the communication on the field as well. I mean, if you guys noticed that one play that DeAndre Hopkins ended up still making the catch, but Epps was out, or I don't know if it was Epps, picked up the slant guy, and then Seymour ended up picking up his guy, got there, played man-to-man on it, but, of course, we're going against Hopkins. He's got like a grip on this ball that's just out of this world.
Yeah.
I know.
But it was just good. It was just still, you see that communication with the players. Like, what I mean? Like, all right, that's like some backyard football right there. If my guy crosses you, pick him up, I'm going back. Like, that was good to see.
That was Marcus Epps calling it from the backside. Like
that's what I thought. I thought it was Epps. I just couldn't remember.
But if you're putting it in perspective, I mean, we've seen Darius Slay. He's kind of like some wide receivers have put up some numbers against him. But if you go and you watch the tape, these past few weeks when Darius was like getting burned, he was playing right up on them. He was playing good defense, and he's going up against these elite wide receivers that are just simply that good. DeAndre Hopkins, to Tim's point, is that good. He's a top 3 wide receiver in the league, and you're going up against a tire salesman a few weeks ago. Like, you just have to kind of give that guy the benefit of the doubt, even if he's playing the best coverage he could possibly bring to the table. DeAndre Hopkins' hand strength is just unmatched. Like, once that ball's in there, it's not coming out.
Man,
he's really talking out their hand. Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, oh, you want the good years 4 or 2? Oh, you got
DeAndre, I was trying to get you some rebates on that tire.
Hold on. I got the Eagles on the other line. Oh, you want me to? Okay, all right. I quit, guys.
I quit this shit.
How crazy is it, though, that when we went down 16-0, I made a little tweet and was just like, this is actually good because now we get to see how this young team reacts and how we see Jalen Hurts react to being down like this, adversity, and playing from behind. And damn, dude, to face those receivers, even Larry was balling out like we talked about. Dude,
yep.
I was impressed. I know they gave up 33 points. Look, that's not good. But you're going against a damn good offense with guys that were, like we just said, working at time. Like, come on, man. I'm impressed. Probably the happiest loss I've ever been a part of, to be real with you, because we saw great things, man. And I'm just not going to be mad anymore this season, dude.
Again, if you stay in that evaluator phase, you're like, I was telling Evan pre-show, I was like, you know what? They got me. They got me at the end. I was like,
yeah, he was invested.
I was like invested emotionally. I was feeling it. The body, the body aches after the game's over. You're like, man, my whole body was into that. And but I was entertained, man. And
but Gail, like
my brother, I looked at my brother and he's like, yeah, that was probably the best game of the year.
And I agree with that. And I think that had Hurts ended up pulling that game out, had we ended up winning that thing, I think there would be a long line of people that would have been on their way to Dick's Sporting Goods getting themselves some Hurts jerseys.
I think they already are.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Are you?
I think the light has already been lit, guys.
He pulled out, dude. Exactly what we said. If this happens, we're going to have our hands full because people are going to be losing it, dude. And I'm one of them. Gail just said it. I was invested, dude. I told you I almost passed out after the game. I was like, I better eat food before I come on here losing my mind because I felt it, baby. But I also talked about before the game, I'm not going to get mad. If they fight, I'm not going to get mad. So I told myself, okay, calm down. I know you hate losing, but better draft pick, right? Trying to see
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, we're a catch away from winning that game. I mean,
How about it, man?
Dallas makes that catch, and we're sitting here, like I said, with a different grin on our faces. I mean, so you cannot sit here as an Eagles fan and we're all disappointed. I get it. But you cannot sit here and be angry at the performance that you saw, especially from that Eagles offense like tonight going forward. You just can't. 102. Tell me, put it in the chat. Tell me when the last time Carson Wentz had 100+ QB rate. Somebody tell me, because I don't know. Personally, I don't know.
That's the weird thing. I mean, because you see when you go on the timeline, you see like somebody underneath the comments. Anything
Not
Wentz
this year.
there'll be some obscure stat of like a Wentz hater has of like 45 fumbles, 16 interceptions, record. Like, we get it, guys. We get it. If you don't like the guy, we get it. But I mean, then it can go vice versa, because I see Wentz stands out there battling on the timeline when it's not looking good this year. Like, you have to just realize that you're not winning any battles right now. You're arguing with yourself after the earlier performances this year. But again, it's just from what we see. Like, we're all certified Wentz fans. Some are more stands than the other.
It was the Dallas game of last year. It's the last time he had a rating. He had a 108.2.
I mean,
he went 31 to 40
with the garbage
318 319 yards, 1 touchdown. And I'll just throw that out there. He didn't get 400 yards in that game or any of the other ones that he's played. Let me just drive that point home.
Dude, how about that throw when he bobbled the ball and he picked it up and that, like, dude, what?
Come on.
The fumbled snap?
The fumbled
snap.
Yeah.
Oh, like, this dude's real.
Yeah.
There it is.
That was, I think everybody in Philadelphia collectively stood up out of their seat when that play happened. They're like, holy shit.
I feel like I'm Randy Marsh right now watching that.
Right.
I just, blew out of my seat here.
It reminded me of, and I'll shoot this to Prime. I'm going to leave you in a happy face. It reminded me of the play in Seattle that Carson had, was that like 2 years ago, where he's like getting tackled to the ground and he makes that 45-yard bomb and it's completed. I was just like, that literally reminded me of the exact same play. I was just like, okay, all right.
I was like, this might be over for Carson after that one, dude. I was like,
I was just like, wow. I was like, okay, we got something. There's something here.
But the thing is that there's going to be more and more people that have that realization the more and more that Jalen Hurts plays like this. If this play continues in this direction, there's going to be more and more people jumping ship from the Wentz wagon.
Well, I want to pump the brakes. Let's just pump the brakes.
Go for it.
I don't want to get too over on Hurts right now. We got 2 games under our belt. Let's play like Jimmy said, like Prime said. Let's play out this season. Let's get them let's get them an off season. Let's get them in pads and let this thing play out. But if I'm Carson right now, I'm telling my wife I'm a little scared. My knees are knocking when I'm going home and laying in the bed.
Let me ask you guys, in the off season, if you're Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz reaches out to you, he's like, hey, I'd like to bring you out to North Dakota on a hunting trip. Are you going?
Not going.
I'm not going around that.
I'm telling you that the team's probably going with Jalen.
Sorry about that.
He's like, I'm gonna stay get my hair cut because you ain't stopping me with this Z in my head over here.
He's got that swagger, man.
He's not trying to catch Carson's fade, man.
Fade is undefeated.
What did this team have in 2017 when we won the Super Bowl? What did we have? We had swag. That's what we had. That is what got us there.
If Carson's gonna come back and you have some finger waves next year. He's gonna be like, I'm brushing up there. I'm getting ready. I don't care what y'all say. I'm coming back with some waves. I'm gonna get me a curve.
Yeah, can you imagine? He's got a cigarette and a do-rag.
I'm losing it. If he comes in with a do-rag and a smoke and a Newport, I'm losing it.
The meme they always make of him.
It's a wrap.
I don't know. It does have to, pregame. I said, if you're Carson Wentz and you know what you kind of like represented coming into the season. And the fact that you are running scout team and you're a competitor, we have to believe that Carson Wentz is a huge competitor. It's got to be eating them up inside to be running scout team. Like if I ever had to play scout team in college and I was running scout team, I would feel a certain way. And I know Carson Wentz has to feel a certain way. And I feel like if he's going to rebound from this, get better as a player, this is all got to be a part of his story. And whatever his comeback, whatever it is, he's got to, that's what makes you as a player. Sometimes players don't come back from situations, but he has to be stronger. For whatever he has to lean on, the faith, whatever to get him there, he's got to get him there. And that's where it has to be. It can't be with the sources. It can't be if his camp is saying, it's leaking stuff to the media, because that's what it looks like. Even if Rob Monty's out here, the damage is done. And that's what happens when the media gets a hold of the story and makes it a thing. So, moving forward, we as a team, it's a team thing. It can't be a Wentz Hurts thing. It's a team thing. If they're in the locker room right now, vibing like, man, we actually balled out today. We just didn't get it done. And they regroup and they've learned something. They build on that. That's what you can hold your hat to.
I think regardless of, how pissed I was just as much as Prime about what they were trying to pull right before the game, regardless of whatever was said by who, I think that Carson Wentz, he better be pissed off. That's the one thing we kept saying. Like, this shouldn't be news. Like, you better be driven by this or you're a little bitch, dude. So you better get pissed off, dude. You're going to play in Philly. You now see that there's a kid that's playing. And I don't think he's a bitch. I think this dude is a tough dude and he's got his head on right. He's still a young man. I think, this adversity is going to help him grow. I don't think this is going to make him worse, but it's going to be hard because whoever isn't the quarterback, we're going to have to watch somewhere else in a year or two. And they're going to go ball out somewhere else. So, hey, maybe the factory is a real thing, and we were all laughing about something that was right in front of our eyes. I'm joking because Thornton and Sudfeld, let's be real here, guys. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
For anyone runs with that.
Malcolm says, I've been a Wentz fan before his Philly days and will forever be a fan. But if Hurts is the man, I guess, it is what it is. I remember watching Wentz versus Jacksonville State. And being geeked, I'm like, this kid is balling out. He's raising his draft potential from maybe second round, maybe into the first after this. And people are like, oh, you really the dude that Jacksonville State? I'm like, yeah, I'm the draft geek watching these games and actually seeing if he's a potential player. And the fact that I own wentzwagon.com if anyone wants to buy that now. Because you saw something in the player, and if that regressed, if the relationship between Doug and Howie and whatever is going on back there has taken a hit, and they feel like, because there's so much news that came out this week, the whole in the room. How do you guys feel about John Dorsey? Do you feel like that changes the perspective moving forward? You think that why did that piece come out today?
Yeah.
Or the last couple of days?
It came out because people are on notice. The whole team's on notice, man. We've been discussing. I heard you guys talking about this for a while now. This whole team is on notice. So you're Howie. This is out to you. I hope you're tuned in to 4th and John because you're on notice, man. We're gonna bring in somebody who can do the job and do it better than you. You're good with numbers. You're good with the contracts. You're good with moving the money around, but you're on notice. Like Jimmy just said, this is a tough city. If you're either gonna rise to the top and stand there with your shield and fight off the demons, or you're gonna run into the back of the castle and go hide in the basement, like you were before. So
you just don't get it, do you? You don't.
It's no hassle. But all I'm saying, they're gonna get I'm just. Which?
Knock.
Who's there?
Look, let me tell you a little story about a man named
Even before you start, that was a preemptive Just know I have a whole bag of with your name on it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. That's it going forward.
That's a preemptive shit.
That's it.
That's
Going
what we've
forward,
been asking for, though, right? Somebody to come in
Yeah.
because he's not going anywhere, dude. So I
Big,
really
big
just
names. I mean,
what needed to happen.
look at what the Philly sports are doing. Big names all the way around. You got all these big names that are coming into Philly. All these head coaches and GMs and managers that are coming into Philly. Big names. The Eagles organization, Jeffrey Lurie sitting in that skybox, cannot be the only team in Philly that's not bringing in big names to win a championship or another one in this mindset. He knows that
that's a competitive thing for him.
That's what I'm saying. He knows that as a team and as a fan base, we were ready. You guys sat there on the podium and said, this is the new norm. You said that this is what we should be expecting as Eagle fans, and then you give us a barely squeaked into the playoffs run, and then we're out, and now we have quarterback factory controversy and everything going on. This is not what we were looking for. We're looking for something better. So some changes have to be made. If that means that we got to bring in Dorsey as a consultant before we can put him on the actual payroll, hey, it's what has to happen. I said it before that we need to have a football guy and Howie bring them together, their powers combined, and we get a GM. That's what has to happen.
To be honest, I think that Doug Peterson might have taken this book or lent it to Carson. I think that Doug Peterson, after when I agree with you, he stood on the steps. He set the precedent when he said that. I think that there's an ego problem within this front office, and I think that's exactly why that story ended up leaking out. I think that's why everything is trickling out right now, and I agree with you. Everyone is being put on notice. I did think it was weird that like it waited this long, because we have been, like, as Eagles fans, we've been looking for answers for a long time now, for many weeks, and I think that it was just a little bit odd that they didn't come out with this a little bit sooner, but. I agree. The reason would be because they're being put on notice.
Evan, I'll ask you this, Evan, real quick, to comment on your point you just made. Do you think it was because of the fact that we were, and I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but do you think it was because of the fact that we were still potentially in the running for a playoff spot to win the East? Or do you think it was just something else that happened? Because that's what I look at it as. I look at it as, now that we're moving in and we're starting to transition, I mean, hey, we still have a chance. I don't know what the probability is. I'm not an analytics guy, but I know we still have a chance to make it into the playoffs.
But
so,
it's super slim. Yeah,
it's super slim. So the page is starting to turn to the end of that chapter, and we're starting to look forward to next year. And we're now at the point where we're like, hey, we're making moves for next year. Like Gail was saying earlier, we took a loss, but hey, we're getting closer to that top pick.
Totally.
So now it comes out.
It's totally a possibility that they're trying to just set the framework and the foundation for the moves that they plan on making this offseason. The thing is, though, if we keep on just surprising everybody week to week, it's going to make that, like we've been talking about. I know so many people have been just dying for Doug Peterson to like be out of the city. They want the season to be over with because they want Doug gone. And now that we're seeing Jalen and Doug Peterson gel well together, I think that is going to make that decision a little bit tougher. You know what I mean? I think that as much as crap as we've given Doug Peterson, something definitely needs to be done, regardless of the fact we need to bring in an offensive coordinator. But I think that Doug Peterson might have earned himself another year, potentially.
This guy.
I don't think he ever lost it. I think, I'm going to keep saying it. Howie and Doug are probably here, and it's COVID injuries. They're going to use every excuse they've got. So, hey, if we're heading in the right direction, learning some things, and if someone, like John Dorsey's here, it makes me feel a little more comfortable. And if they bring someone in to help Doug, I feel much more comfortable.
I mean, the gossip around.
You need to bring someone in to help them. Like you can't go forward into next season with just this same coaching staff.
Yeah,
I think there's gossip out there, and people are talking, and there's word that about Doug and his relationship with Howard, and if they can coexist, and if he's forced to step down, or if he gets fired, because I feel like the stuff that is going on right now, I'm having questions. It's like every week there's something that we hear, and it's just like, bro, like if you see how they played together today, I mean, coach, the play calling, and if Hurts is actually Howie's guy, and Wentz is Doug's guy, and Doug was now forced to play Hurts. Like you're wondering like who is in control of the football team at this very moment. Like before, I had a feeling like that. Before I had a feeling like that Doug was calling the shots. Then earlier in the season, then that news broke out that Howie was actually the guy who was setting who's on the field at the same time. You're like, bro, like, and then the whole idea of like, is Doug feeling a certain way about like, hey, I'm the coach, but I don't have that real control that I really want. And then you saw the other stories coming about like that Paul was Domowitz came out with the story that if he got fired, he wouldn't be mad at him if that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're just wondering how they're going to move forward after like the team seems like it's gelling right now.
It does.
So
and we've already got so many holes to fill, and I think what Jeff Lurie's going to have to weigh is Doug Peterson going to be willing to be bendable enough and flexible and not stubborn and be willing to take on that change.
Yeah, we talked about, I had so many voices in Doug Peterson's head, and all year everybody, oh, well, why is all these coaches doing things? Why is Howie telling them all these things like Gail just mentioned about who to play and all this? And then a couple weeks ago, he comes out and he says, this is my decision. I am in charge of this team. I'm going to decide who the starting quarterback is. And everybody's pissed off about it. Oh, what the hell is it? Well, what's the leader of this team doing leading the team? I don't understand it. And it's like, look, I understand maybe he should converse with some other people and all this other stuff, but it's his job on the line. Everybody's calling for his head. And he's saying, hey, let me figure this out and let's see what happens. Well, he's done pretty good the last couple of weeks, but he's definitely had his issues still.
Now, Adam says definitely shakeups have to be done in the draft and scouting department. I've heard that 3 draft scouts already got let go, and that was a couple weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And that didn't really make – I haven't heard anything confirmed yet on that. So there must be some things going there. There was rumor that Howie and Lurie got into it. We're going at it and being screamed at in front of the whole team. Not team, but whole,
I think that screaming was going one way, but yeah.
Maybe that's when Dorsey got brought in and we didn't know it.
Good news. That's good news to hear that they were screaming at each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't know. Like Evan was saying, I don't know if that screaming was going back and forth because I don't think there was a lot of.
I don't scream at my boss. I know that.
Yeah, he opened his hallway closet, Howie's old hallway closet, and John Dorsey was in there. He's like, "What?"
Yeah, it might have been. It might have been a scream. He might have been poking his head out of the window as he was driving out of the NovaCare complex.
Exactly. And Jeffrey, what was that?
Yeah, what was that? Oh.
Now the Shea off the top rope. Let me bring up the graphic because it's worthy of a graphic. Shea off the top rope. Hold on.
This build-up is just immaculate right now.
The Shea says the team quit on Wentz, not Doug.
We talk about the energy, right?
Yeah.
I play with energy around.
And you see that in the chemistry of the team.
Wait.
You see that in just the.
Prime had a certain look. He was like, he has a rebuttal for this. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Prime.
Nah, I didn't.
No, you
Get it off your chest, dog. Come on. This is a safe space.
And listen.
The trust tree in the nest.
It is, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say that the team, I'm not gonna say like anybody specifically quit on him. It's just oh man, it's just all over the place. It's unorganized. The coaching, I really feel like the coaching is what let this team down, man. That's the part that I really feel is the turnaround here is the coaching. I mean, like, yeah, again, he makes mistakes and all that stuff, but it's just a lot. The coaching is fucked up, plain and simple.
And now, Prime, do you think though that the coaching, like you said, being fucked up? Do you think that that's them, and along with that coaching, the front office giving up on Wentz? I mean, because it's got to be a hard thing for him to have to come into like the link, seeing the Foles statue and him getting hurt, and the front office drafting Hurts in the second round. Like we're talking about Wentz, and yeah, he can play better, but all these things have happened around him. And I agree with her comment that the team, not so much team, but the front office and the coaching staff gave up on Wentz. They stopped trying to form a offense around him and stop trying to call plays that they knew he would excel at. And they were just like, hey, we just had a quarterback until this guy is ready to come in.
I hear you, man. I just like, the same thing is like you wonder if it's going to be the same outcome for Jalen if Jalen is our future. That's all.
Yeah, it feels like. Go ahead.
No, I was just. Yeah, what were we gonna say? Go.
No, it feels very odd to be like. I feel like comfort after I saw what I saw tonight. Like I was like, wow, that was they fought, and it's weird.
We're heading in the right direction.
They caught an L, and I'm sitting here like, usually I'm like ready to like take a lap before I get on the podcast over the L, but I'm just like, I saw what I needed to see. I wanted to see the progression in the passing game. You saw that, especially after some people were saying that he's going to be figured out after one game, or just not even thinking that he has the wherewithal to even come up with a performance like this in the second start. Again,
right.
Second start. Said, you start on your first day of work and people expect you to be an all-star. We're on the second day of work of Jalen Hurts, and he put up a performance like he's been at the job for maybe a couple months. So I'm going to give a hat tip there. If I'm going to, moving forward, how do I feel? I'm still up in the air right now. Like from all the stuff we've been hearing over the last, the Lurie, the Dorsey, the Carson Wentz news from Adam Schefter, which some people call fake news, some people don't believe it, some people do. Where do we go from here?
Competition time, baby.
It's a lot of questions, man. Off season is going to be great.
A lot. We're off season mode with a couple games left. And imagine if we make the playoffs. How weird does it get?
Oof.
I don't see it happening. I would love to say that we'd get there, but I just.
Who's your starter? Who's your starter
next week?
No, who's your starter if we make the playoffs? Who's your starter first game?
Oh, bro.
Well, if Hurts gets it there, it's gotta be.
If we get to the playoffs, it's because of one guy in particular. You can't take him out. Yeah.
And then you
gotta roll with number 2.
I don't know if Carson ever wins this job again. I think Doug kind of alluded to week by week. Listen, I'm saying he said that week by week, he was going to decide who it was. I don't think that he gives that job back to him at all. I think, a loss, whatever. He just threw for 338 yards, 401 total yards. So this is his team right now, and he's going to figure some things out in the next 2 weeks. We're going to see hopefully a lot more things. I think we learned a lot tonight. And in that time, then we're going to learn how close this competition truly is in this offseason. Because as much as people want to say, one good game, it's over for Wentz. It's like, look, dude, we're going to need to see a little bit more. And now 2 good games. Okay. But we have a lot of money invested in Carson. I know that's not everything, but I'm telling you, they're not just going to give up on him. But this is going to make it 10 times harder. And I think that Hurts is really making it like 50-50 at this point, where it's really a competition now, man.
A quick one around the room. Quick question by Curtis. If Hurts isn't drafted by us, do you guys think Wentz plays as bad as he has this year? We'll go around the room. We'll go with Tim first.
No. I said this before. No, it doesn't happen. Like, you remove Jalen out of this situation and Carson can thrive. Carson has always, since he's been here, after we won the Super Bowl, that was like probably the worst thing that could have happened to Carson. I said this, I made a post about this when it happened. It was probably the worst thing to happen towards Carson Wentz's development, because it let the whole entire organization know that we don't need you to win a Super Bowl. So bringing another guy in to shake him up or instill some kind of confidence in him was not a good look. So yeah, no, absolutely not.
Jimmy.
I'm with Tim on this one. I think if you would have, traded back and still got Rager, you could have traded up, moved around, got Claypool, got Higgins, added more talent around Carson Wentz, he would have been successful. You could have added Jeremy Chino on defense. You could have got Cushenberry on this line that's decimated. So many things you could have done for him, but I'm not trying to be Captain Hindsight. I mean, maybe if we don't draft Hurts, coronavirus doesn't come out. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit here and say the what if. But I really do feel that we could – I'm just saying you see so many ridiculous things out there by people where it's like,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
man, it is what it is. But I'm with you, dude. I think Tim's right. You could have made him a lot more successful. Now you're in his head. You made it worse for him, not better.
Prime.
No, I mean picking up Jalen really got in his head, man. It threw his game off. You got that in the back of your mind, going into the season. I think he would have been a different person had we went with somebody else in the second round.
Now, Prime, if you were Howie Roseman, I want you to tell Carson Wentz what you would have said to him, promised him before the season. Stage is yours right now. Talk to your man. His ear is right to your left of you.
Oh,
what,
Brian,
like-
you wanted to talk to me. What is it?
What do you want me to show?
If you were Howie Roseman, if you were Howie Roseman, what would you tell your starting franchise quarterback prior to the season, prior to the draft? What would you say?
I'm your guy, right, Prime?
Gotcha, bitch. That's exactly what he'd be saying.
You guys are some assholes.
Carson has left the building. We'll go with Evan.
I'm Evan, by the way.
Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin. Come on, Kevin.
So yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't think that Carson has the same sort of game. I don't think he has the same sort of season if he's not looking over his shoulder. But do you guys like? I'm thinking of this in kind of a devil's advocate. And I hate when people do that, but I'm looking at this in a devil's advocate kind of lens where, like, if that's the case, if Carson looking over his shoulder is that detrimental to him, that's not good. Regardless, that you can't just tell Carson that we have to stick a bad backup quarterback behind you because it's what's best for your mentals. You want to have the best players, you want to have the best depth available. So I'm kind of looking at this, and if that is the case, and Carson isn't able to deal with that mentally and having a competitive guy behind him, it might end up being a blessing in disguise because you end up realizing that that's not your guy all along.
I don't think that it's his mental thing. I mean, we've all said that it's
we just said that if he didn't draft him,
for
then he would have played
it's definitely part mental, but we've also broke down how many things are going wrong. The 13 out of 14 lines, the receiver's not getting open, the tight end's running back, not running the ball, all that stuff. I think it all weighs on him, but you're right in a sense where it's like if you're not tough enough, but I don't think it's over for him yet where I'm ready to just say that he didn't come out of this. Gail mentioned it earlier. These are the kind of stories, Nick Foles coming back, stuff like that. It's like, will this light a fire? I really don't know, man. But yeah. I mean, it's a great point to, bring up Evan playing devil's advocate like that, because hey, if you're not tough enough, like I said earlier, if you're a bitch, man, then get to stepping, dude. You're not going to last.
Yeah, especially in the city.
Yeah.
Jeremy makes a point. He says Aaron Rodgers didn't act like a little bitch this year when the organization drafted QB in the first round.
MVP level.
He just went out, put a MVP season. 40?
He used that as fuel to his fire.
What has he got? 40 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I touched on that earlier about the comparison between Aaron and Carson. Now Carson's a little different because Carson's got Carson's like that hot like ex with the 2 kids on the backside. She's got some baggage, so Carson's got to deal with the fact that he's already lost pretty much the locker room when he went down on that playoff run in 2017. That whole entire mantra season. And the fact that we went the whole distance and he had a lot to do with it, but the fact that we went that whole season and finished it out with a Lombardi trophy and it wasn't because of him, that's different. When you look at Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, where the only way they get that Super Bowl is with Aaron. So It's completely different. It's completely different.
Yeah, I think, to answer Zeller's, I'm not saying it's not mental at all. I mean, I think it's definitely mental. I'm just saying that's not the main reason. Like, he's not some bitch. I don't think that's what he is. I think it's all of the things combined.
Yeah. And I think, too, that, like, when we brought Hurts in, there was a bunch of – sorry, I took that down. When we brought Hurts in, there was because we drafted him in the second round, there was this big push by the fan base that we need to have him out there. And I think that it was already in the back of Carson's mind, just trying to introduce Jalen into these games, and you're pulling, you're putting Wentz out at wide receiver, and you're throwing Jalen out there for one play at a time. It completely throws off the rhythm. And you guys can all attest to this. I've been saying it since the night we drafted him. I hate a Taysom Hill type offense. I freaking hate it. Yeah. And so when they said that was their plan to do Taysom Hill on steroids, it's like, this is going to be awful. I don't want to watch that type of offense. And
we knew that was a lie.
Huh?
You knew that was a lie. As an Eagles fan, you knew that was a lie. When draft night came, and they sat there and said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna use them like Taysom Hill in New Orleans," and what? Come on,
yeah, stupid.
No,
it was stupid.
Not. Shut up.
Exactly. You're trying to protect yourself in case Carson Wentz goes down again. They certainly, I don't think anybody in the organization anticipated what happened this year happening. But Jalen Hurts coming in and showing us that he has something, and that's at least some positive to take away from this year and all the negativity we've had.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to be weird once you started seeing a second quarterback on the field. You're running these QB screens, passes, and just getting weird. I'm like, just let Carson have the offense to himself. There's no reason to take him off the field at that point in time. But again, like if you brought Wentz in and put him at tight end, would it get crazy? Like, oh, we got Wentz at tight end. It doesn't need to happen. Again, it's getting this podcast is getting longer too. We're about
I think
you guys still want to go. Are we feeling refreshed?
I want to touch on this last point right here. Okay. I just want to. I think that is actually a really good point. If we ended up bringing in a veteran quarterback into this system, some guy that we know he's at the back end of his career and he's seriously there just for depth, not in a kind of in a sneaky way looking to move on with this guy in the future. If we brought in a vet and he ended up coming in and performing very well the same way that Jalen Hurts is, are we still having the same sort of conversation? Like, could this Carson be losing his job, or are we just saying, this? Thank God he's doing a great job until Carson gets his head straight.
Well, you said it. This problem's been brewing since the draft, so we've all been sitting here kind of anticipating it. So if it wasn't what some people call a wasted draft pick, if we were getting talent for him and we just used a couple $1 million to bring in a vet, then sure, it's cheaper by a little bit to have a rookie. But look, dude, you created that drama, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Some good conversation. I mean, for a loss, I think we're hanging our heads pretty high right now.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for more of the reality show to come.
Hey, Jalen Hurts won me some money tonight, so I'm feeling real good.
What do you guys? Let's just speculate real quick. What do you think the next story to drop is leaking out of this locker room? Anything juicy this week?
I mean, when you think Adam Schefter puts out a story like that, if it's not,
no way. No, Adam Schefter. That's one of those names. That Adam Schefter, the Adrian Wojnarowskis of the world, the Shams. If they put something out there, there is.
Well, someone definitely told him that. I just think whoever told him that was, starting a little spark of a fire where it was like, Carson should be upset. I think just like Josina Anderson, all that stuff that happened, I think they're trying to make it worse for us because the media thrives on that. They get more attention. They get paid more. So. Look, it's probably real. I mean, you should be pissed off. But I hate that they try to make a thing out of this before the game, man.
Yeah. Timing is everything.
Damn you, Schefter.
Shout out to Matthew in the chat. He's super spicy right now. He's giving it to everyone in there.
Spicy meatball.
Appreciate you coming to the chat and speaking your mind again. That's what this is what it's about. After the post game, people are going to say what they're going to say. Because it's fresh on your mind. You got to get it off your chest. Get it off your chest. That's what the post-game pod is about. This is what this whole chat is about, this live stream. I just want to thank all the fans out here who have contributed to the conversation. It means a lot to us, the support that we get in here. It's unmatched. Like we appreciate it every week. Before we get out of here, I know some people have been wanting to jump on the show, but we're getting a little long. We're almost on an hour and a half pod here.
Yeah.
But before we get out of here, why don't we give last word on the birds, and we'll start with our guest. We'll go with Tim. Last word on the birds before we get out of here.
So I gotta say, I'm excited I got tingles. I know I was like everybody else. My palms are still sweaty from tonight.
Knees is heavy.
So yeah, my knees is shaking. You know, I was right there till the end. I know Gail wants to, he wants to claim that he wasn't there, but I know you were. I know you were sitting on the edge of your seat. But hey, I know that everybody is, excited, and we're like a little kid with a new pet. We want to just touch it and play with it, but we don't want to strangle it. That's the whole thing. We got Dallas coming up. So I am just pumped. I am so pumped for next week to see what we can get. Playing Dallas, I always gets me like just love it. So let's go. Let's get ready. I'm ready to finish this out and see where it goes from here.
Jimmy, that's one of the important words.
As Timmy and Malcolm just said, it's Dallas week, so I'm already pumped up. And the reason that is because all we asked for today was a little bit of excitement. See a little bit from these young guys, see something from Hurts. People were questioning his throwing the ball. Well, he came out, he showed them. I'm really excited for the future of this team. Either way, it's going to be a competition in my mind, but may the best man win. But I'm excited. You don't have to just hate or love one, guys. I think we can root for both. But Jalen Hurts, loving what he's doing. I'm excited, and thank you so much for having me on. Thank you for everybody that tuned in, and I can't wait for this entire week to be talking about how much Dallas sucks. Go Birds!
Go Birds!
Prime, whose brother is actually a Cowboy fan. Last word on the Birds.
So this week is a big week because it is Dallas week. So I was actually going to take into consideration of maybe doing the podcast from his house. In his backyard.
Enemy territory.
Enemy territory. The only thing that you guys are going to have to put up with is all the bullshit on the walls with Dallas and everything. But I might take something Eagles and maybe cover it up with something. Listen, man. Hey, look, the kid shut me up today. He balled out. Yes, I was one. I mean, you guys kept on throwing the comment out there about people that didn't think he could throw. I was one of those guys. He had the flick of the wrist today, and he was looking real good. He was placing that ball pretty good to the receivers. So I'm like you guys, looking forward to seeing what he's got next week against Dallas. It being a big rivalry week. So I'm with it. Looking forward to the show that he's gonna put on for us. Other than that, again, like what Gail said earlier, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate the support. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe and go Birds.
This team has been trending downwards the entire year, and finally we have some excitement. This week, I saw something different out of this Eagles team that I've been waiting for since September. I was excited to see it, and now we're going up against our number one rivals on the schedule. I don't care what our records are. I don't care what the division implications are. I just want to see Jalen Hurts go out there in his first game in an Eagles uniform versus Dallas and kick some ass. Go Birds. Fuck Dallas. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
I have AJ in the back room. Real quick before we get out of here, AJ, I know you always bring the heat and the thunder. Give us your last word on the Birds before we get out of here.
She's wearing the 11 right now.
AJ.
Yeah.
AJ, how you doing?
What's going on?
What's up?
All right, look, I don't know what's going on with the sound, so I don't know if that's probably because I don't have sorry I look busted, but I wasn't prepared, but I did it last minute. How y'all doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Good.
I at this point now, all I can say is that I was wrong about Hurts, and I think that at this point now, sorry I look busted.
You look great, AJ.
Looking good.
All right.
Let's hear it.
Either way, I just really think that Jalen Hurts is one of those guys that he's just probably going to make it look really shiny because everything's gone downhill. But honestly, at this point, I'm like, just finish the year out, get me out of my misery, and let's just wrap this up because this season is kind of mute. 2020 sucked. I'm disappointed in Wentz, but at the same time, I'm happy to know that we at least have something soothing to watch, at least for the rest of the season, because it's been painful. And this was the first game I actually was happy they lost. But it's not because of the draft, because I don't believe they can pick talent in the draft anymore either way. Yeah. I'm just happy to not have to be stressed to drink. So That's it.
Did you have fun tonight? Did you have fun watching the game tonight? It was entertaining, right?
Oh yeah, tonight's game was a blast. Actually, I felt like there were a lot of people that got the ball that normally don't, like Quez, you know, and it was just refreshing to see other. I don't know, just blood in there. I mean, even Corey and Dallas combined for special teams to stop that one thing. So that was kind of a good play. But there's just little things that are standing out, and I just feel like that now at this point, anything can happen. But thanks for letting me in the little time that I had.
Of course, AJ. Thank you for joining us. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Yeah.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes.
It's a Merry Christmas to everyone else too. Yeah.
Yeah. Last word on the Birds. Obviously, we didn't get the dub, but we got to see another step in the right direction in Jalen Hurts' progression. We saw the team come together once again with a lot of injuries. Secondary was banged up, but they all came together, and younger guys making plays. This youth movement I talked about, having to see the back end of the roster guys come out and play today. That's important for me to see who we got on this roster. We got to see some of those guys. Obviously, it's weird right now, but we got to stay strong as Eagle fans. We got to stay strong as people during this pandemic, and stick together. Make sure you call your peoples, check in on them, make sure they're good, make sure your family's good, make sure you're wearing your masks, and as always, it's fly, Eagles, fly, and we'll see.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Christmas.
Birds.
Yes, sir.
Take care, guys.